welcome to my channel. My name is Jossa Washington, and in this video I'm going to be showing you guys some of the design coursework that I did in university. A little bit about myself. I graduated from Eastern Michigan University in April of 2018. After graduating, I did a couple of design internships, and eventually in January of 2019, I managed to land my first full-time graphic design job as a junior graphic designer. Well, unfortunately, because of the Rona, I got laid off, but that could be another story. So in the meantime, I'm going to be focusing on doing some freelance projects, my own passion projects, and making some design-focused content for YouTube. Anyway, I'm making this video to show you guys who are thinking about going to college or taking online classes, again because of the Rona. I can show you, will give you a good idea of some of the work that you will be doing. So I'm going to list off my classes. I'll read off the class descriptions for them, and I'll show you some examples of my work. And just a note, some of the stuff I'm going to be showing you guys is old, and it'll be a little bit of like a reaction video too, so I'm already cringing. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into this video. So the very first graphic design course that I took was Foundations of Digital Media, and the class description, it reads, this course is an introduction to the use of the computer as an art-making tool. Through readings, lectures, and discussions, students will explore a wide range of approaches to digital media as well as its larger cultural implications. Exposure to contemporary artists who use the computer at some point in their process will give students insight into its applications across all media. So that was a long-winded explanation, but pretty much it's just like the bare basics, like your very first introduction to art making tools such as the Adobe Creative Suite. In this class was the very first time that I ever touched Photoshop, Illustrator. Those are the two main programs, Photoshop and Illustrator. So I'm going to show you guys one project that I did in that class, and it was to do a emoji, and the emoji that I wanted to do was a zombie emoji. So I'm going to put that picture on the screen right now. So I made a printout right here, and it just looks so derpy. I mean, I think I was inspired by like the Plants vs. Zombie games. I just wanted some kind of reference. I remember just being on the shuttle bus, just trying to make this damn emoji. Like, it wasn't so hard drawing the shapes. What was hard was the gradients. Like, I wanted to have that like iPhone emoji look with a gradient kind of feel. Like the gradients, I remember it was so hard to get it somewhat to be how I wanted it to be. It was just like a test of us working with the Illustrator tools, just to figure it out, just to get used to using the tools in Illustrator, and it was a struggle. The second graphic design course that I took was called Intro to Graphic Design 1, and the class description reads as, this course offers a intensive exploration of the fundamentals and principles of graphic design. The class description is much longer than that, but I'm gonna just say, like, pretty much it's just the fundamentals of graphic design. So fundamentals, that being things like point and line, scale, texture, grid, transparency, the Gestalt principles, those pretty much just an introduction to those basic principles of design. So the first project that I did, it was a small zine, and we got to choose a graphic designer that inspired us to do a zine about, and the graphic designer that I chose was Kaale Anderson. This is the cover of it. I remember like having such a struggle on the cover, but I was so proud of it. And here's the back, and here's a picture of her. I remember choosing her because she was one of the only well-known black graphic designers, and I wanted to learn more about black graphic designers because there's not that many in this field, so I chose her. And I'm just going to switch over to my table so we can flip through this whole book. So here's a close-up of the zine again, and I named this zine Versatile Typography because Kaale Anderson is still famous for her typography. And I had to reprint this zine. I do not have the original, so that's why I kind of had to MacGyver this book together using bobby pins. So I'm gonna go ahead and open up to the first page, and here we see a picture of Gal Anderson, and I already see a lot of things that I would have already done differently. If you look closely at my rags, or like the right side of the paragraph, a lot of them are indented. With this project, it was just a exercise of placing text and image together, and this was like my very first time doing a project like that, and I made a lot of rookie mistakes because, well, I was a rookie. Yeah, a lot of dashed words. Here's another page with some of the posters that she's done. Another thing I would change is the captions. I would make the point size a little bit smaller and maybe italicize the font. I do like how I laid out this page with just keeping it simple and putting the posters in a line on top. This is the last page. I don't really like the layout of this page. I wish that I had more text to fill up this page, maybe just like one more column right here. Here's the back cover with a illustration of her and a quote. So that is the zine. So my next class, I took Intro to Graphic Design 2. The class description reads, projects examine type mythology, complex typographic systems, rhetorical devices, word image structures, typographic history, and theory, introduces appropriate tools. So basically, it's just like a deeper delve or deeper dive into the basic fundamentals of design that I talked about earlier in the Intro to Graphic Design 1 class. So the first project that I did for that was hierarchy exercises. It was just an exercise in how we emphasize hierarchy between text, image, and texture, and I'm gonna give you a close-up of them on my table. Okay, so here is a closer look of the 3 exercises that I did. Again, we learned how to emphasize text, image, and texture. And for this one, obviously the highest in the hierarchy is image, and I wanted to overlap the text and the texture. Here's the second one, and I wanted to emphasize the texture in the hierarchy of this one. Here's the last one. This one I just wanted to go big and bold with the type, and I wanted the image to be last in hierarchy, and in the middle have the texture. So here's that. So the next graphic design course that I took was Intermediate Graphic Design 1, and the class description reads, it deals intensively with conceptual and technical issues, explores topics relevant to audience demographic, presents theories, philosophies, aesthetics, and techniques related to mass audience communication, introduces appropriate methodologies. Basically, you're looking past the fundamentals and you're starting to look at doing design with a conceptual sense. In this class, you start making projects that are a little bit more realistic. I'm going to show you guys a train brochure and a propaganda poster that I made. So this project was the infamous train brochure project that we did in my class. If you were my classmate in that class, you would definitely agree that this was our least favorite project that we ever done in that class, because just look at it. Just look at it. The whole premise of this project, it was to help us be able to do projects that dealt with a lot of information and making sense out of all the information. Here's some close-ups for you guys, but yeah, it's a lot of information. We were given train schedule, text, and we had to make a physical brochure with all of that information, and we have to make it make sense. Here's the back side, and again, it's just as complicated as the front. We were supposed to make sure it looked realistic, as if this was a real train schedule. So this project is the propaganda poster project. Our professor let us choose a cause that we either want to go against or go for, and we got to design a poster for that. So the concept for this poster was to be against the US bombing a lot of other countries, as we sure do. But yeah, you can see here that I used the silhouette of a bomb with the American flag and the quote, "Bomb first, questions later," over the skyline of a destroyed city. I made this poster in Illustrator. I got these vector shapes for the city free online from like VectEasy, I think. There's a bunch of really cool free online sources that students can use, and I made sure to take advantage of that for this poster. Next class is Intermediate Graphic Design 2. So this class is about analyzing codes as learned and interpreted messages, projects, explore audience, context, sequence, and theories, philosophies, aesthetics, techniques, and cultural references in symbol language, message building, introduces appropriate methodologies. So yeah, this course helps us think more about the audience for the graphic design that we create for. So the first project I'm going to show you is an album cover. For this project, we got to pick a band or an artist that we wanted to create an album cover for. The band that I chose was Dance Gavin Dance. Dance Gavin Dance is a post-hardcore band. They tend to, in their music, include a lot of different genres. And what I really liked about their music, what drew me to their music, was like the chaoticness of it. So I wanted to explore how I can make like the theme, the concept of chaos show through in their album. So I'll put a mock-up on screen just so it looks like how it would, because I did have the original, but it was really beat up because I did not store it right. Whatever you guys make your projects, make sure you store it in a safe place so it doesn't get scraped up, scratched. The front of it, I remember how I created this. I used a online tool, I think it's called Mosh. I'll link it down in the description box. I felt like the pixelation style really gets across the chaotic nature of their music. At least this album cover that I made, it was to symbolize some of the early music that they made. So the next project is the Detroit Design Festival branding project. So this is one of the first branding projects that I've worked on, and one of the projects that made me realize that I really like branding design. If you don't know, the Detroit Design Festival is a real festival. This event, it brings together different areas of design, from graphic design, product design, architecture design. It celebrates Detroit as a capital of design. First things first is the logo. Now that I'm looking back at the logo, I have it on my screen to the side. I really wish that I didn't use 3 different textures for the logo. If I did have to use the textures again, I would make sure that I greatly simplify the textures. If I were to do the logo again, either simplify it or just fill it all the letters in black. So the second part of this branding project was to make a poster. So on the left side you see the front of the poster, and then on the right side you see the back side. So the front of the poster, I just wanted to have the logo really small in the upper right corner, the title of the festival really nice and big, the dates, and a small description. On the back side, I wanted to have a schedule on the back. And next I'm going to show you guys the website that I made. Okay guys, so here is the website that I designed for the Detroit Design Festival project. And as you can see, this is the homepage. I only made 5 pages for this website, and I'm going to scroll through it. Here's the about page. I think I got this copy from the original Detroit Design Festival's website. So here it is. It's just nice and clean. I just wanted to use the pattern here just as a artistic element. Next, on to the events. I designed this to be more of like a slider kind of page. So I just did 5 pages, and this is on the 26th, and you see there's 2 different events. And here's like another day. As you can see, it switches over to the next day. And again, we got 2 different events info and a little profile picture for that day. Here's the page for featured designers, and only decided to feature 2 designers on this page. Ideally, like if this was real, you could use these back and forward arrows to look at the other designers. And lastly, here is the apply page. But yeah, this page is for if you want to get involved as a design ambassador, or you want to get involved in the Design Village. The next class is Image Making 1. So this course focuses on image making as it applies to the materials and process of communicating specific visual concepts. Introduces a variety of strategies, material processes, and methods for the creation and design of unique images as they may be applied within graphic design. And I feel like that course description pretty much describes what it is. It's just in that class we delve into using different kinds of materials to make images, hence the name of the class, image making. So the first project I'm going to show you from this class, it was a animation video. This was one of the, I think it was like my second animation video that I made in college, so it's pretty rough. I'm going to go onto my computer and show you guys the video. So this project right here is a animation project that pretty much it was to help us think about how we can use design and motion together. We had the choice of selecting audio from NPR, and I chose audio that was titled The Art of Selling, and it was a 30-second clip, and all we had to do was make an animation for the whole of 30 seconds. So I'm just gonna go ahead and play it for you guys.
Consider for a moment all the art forms that were created on this continent by Americans. Jazz, the blues, musical theater, rock and roll, phonograph recordings themselves, television, motion pictures, video games. I would argue that all of them are eclipsed by the art form at which we truly excel as a nation. The art form which more Americans practice than any other. The art form which actually dominates all the other art forms, and our political life as well. And that is the art of selling.
So it may have just been 30 seconds, but animation can take quite a long time to do. Regardless of that, this project was really fun. I actually found out that I really like motion design, and I'm going to continue to get better at it. We can make a project about anything that we want for this one. I wanted to see what it would be like to try and design for a design agency slash firm. So I named it Graphic Apartment, and what you're looking at right now is a brochure. I wanted to see what branding would look like with 3D aesthetics applied to it. So this is what we got. So we're gonna take a look on the inside. This brochure was to give a person information about them. And here's the rest of the inside. So let's go to the back side. It's about us. On the back is contact information if you want to get in contact, and the cover. So the next component of this project was a letterhead. Again, all this information is fake. I just wanted to make a really good example of a letterhead that a professional design agency would create to give to whoever they needed to send it to. Now, the last part of this project were business cards. So I decided to make two versions of the business cards. The backs of them are on the left side. No, the right side. And you just see the logo, Graphic Apartment. And I use the 3D aesthetic for the front. And again, all this information is fake. If I were to choose one or the other, I think that I would go with this one. I really like the balance of the colors a lot better than the one on the bottom. So the next class is Image Making 2. This class is about image making as applied to advanced communication concepts. Students are exposed to theories, philosophies, aesthetics, techniques, and experiences visual message building. So this is like, pretty much this class was image making 1, but like very much so advanced. With the project that I'm going to show you, it really tested my ability to make images out of pretty much materials that are more physical. With graphic designers, like a lot of the assumption is that we always get our imagery from online or digital sources, but you can really create some really great things from taking imagery and materials from real life, and you'll get more of a better idea of what I mean. So here we have the target project. At the beginning of this project, we were given this handout. It just listed pretty much just the start of the project, and then from there we could just go wild. For my project, I wanted to go back into illustration a little bit. I always loved to doodle, so I made a lot of doodles in my notebook. I then image traced them. I brought those doodles into Illustrator, image traced them, and then I put them all into these circles, and I made it interactive so you can like take the individual circles and spin them. Let's say someone wanted to go here up to the circle, and they may want to be able to line all of these together, because all of the circles, you can turn them. I mean, you can either mess up the image, or you can turn them the right way so you can see the whole image. So this project is called the Blurb Book Project. The only reason it's called Blurb Book Project is because we use a platform called Blurb to set up the files for this project. But for this project, we get to make a narrative using imagery that we have to hand create to make the narrative for the inside. But here we see the front and back covers. I'm showing it this way to show the kind of butterfly effect. That was the effect that I was going for, and on the spine you see that I named it Evolution. This book is to represent my evolution as a growing designer throughout my college years. When I first started, I wasn't really that confident in my skills or in the design process. I had a lot of struggles in the beginning. It was later in my sophomore year where I decided that I really wanted to take this seriously, because I really love being creative. I really wanted to be a graphic designer. So this whole book was pretty much like an evolution of me at first being really not that confident in my skills, and then later in the book it shows that I'm way more confident by the end of that class. So the very last graphic design course that I took in university, it was called Advanced Graphic Design. So pretty much what this class was about, it was about advanced work in visual communication. Students are exposed to theories, philosophies, aesthetics, techniques, and experiences used in complex visual communication environments. So really in this class, our professor gave us full reign to explore whatever you wanted to explore and design. You'll see in the project I'm going to show you that I experimented with different ways of representing type. And since I decided that I wanted to go in the direction of branding design, I did another branding project. So first, let's go ahead and take a closer look at the 2 posters that I made in that class. So here what you're looking at are 2 poster exercises that I did near the end of my time in college. We could just do whatever we wanted. The professor gave us full reign over what we wanted to do for these 2 posters. For my concept, I wanted to choose ASL or American Sign Language. This was inspired by the fact that I have a deaf uncle and he knows sign language. My sign language myself is not that good, but I wanted to create kind of like a font that used hand signs to represent the letters of the alphabet. So I hand drew these symbols to represent each letter. The ones on top, they're the capital letters, and down below I made those into lowercase. The black poster on the left is pretty much kind of like a type specimen poster. Now for the poster on the right, I made a fake ASL event, and I just chose like a random date and a place in Ann Arbor. I wrote this down here and I can't quite remember what it says, but I'll look it up. In the background as textures, the hand signs, the alphabet letters in the background. So these are the 2 posters. So here is one of the last projects that I made while I was in college. In this project, we could just choose whatever we wanted to do. And since I love branding, I chose to do branding again. And I wanted to do a skincare line. Since in my own personal life, I love skincare, so I wanted to take my stab at it. And I just wanted to create a basic 3-step skincare line that emphasizes natural and clean ingredients. So that's the kind of aesthetic that I was going for. How I made the actual packaging is I went to Walmart, I got some products of bottles that I really liked, I ripped off those labels, and then I added my own labels. So this is the website for the Skinship skincare line. This is the home page, and I just pretty much adopted this to look like what you would usually see for a online retailer that wanted to sell skincare. Down below is where you can shop for the skincare, and down below you just have a regular footer. So here's the about page. pretty much just details what Skinship is about. I think I got this photo as a stock photo, and I took the copy from a different skincare lines about page. So here's the blog page. Pretty much like any other company, they may have a blog that details whatever they want to talk about concerning their company or the industry that they're in. So here's the scroll. Next is the contact page. And again, this will be pretty familiar if you've been on any contact page. It gives information about how to contact them and a form that you can fill out and submit so the company can get back to you. And I did make individual pages for each product itself. Again, making sure that each page goes along with the product's aesthetic. Well, that's it. That's all of the design courses that I took in university and some of the work. I hope that you guys got a good sense of some of the stuff that you may learn if you decide to go to college or learn online and get into the field of graphic design. If you guys have any suggestions for different videos you want to see from me, let me know. So if you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.